Tonight at the Santiago Bernabéu, it didn't feel like a simple 1-0. On paper, Real Madrid edged Osasuna thanks to Kylian Mbappe's composed 51st-minute penalty. But the real story unfolded in the selection sheet, the substitutes bench, and the final whistle's body language. This was Xabi Alonso's first La Liga home game, and in the stands and across social feeds, the expectation was enormous. You could feel that weight as the team walked out. From the opening whistle, Madrid dominated possession, but they struggled to open a stubborn low block. Chances came, but none seemed to crack the door until Mbappé drew the foul and slid his penalty home. A moment that offered relief and 3 points, but also failed to mask deeper questions about who belongs in this squad now. What grabbed every headline, every fan reaction, and every pundit on the feed was Alonso's message via selection. Rodrygo, a player many assumed would be central to the attack, started the match on the bench. That decision alone rewrites the narrative inside the dressing room. When a trusted attacking option is left unused, it speaks as loudly as any press conference. The official starting 11 showed Brahim and Vinicius flanking Mbappé, with Valverde and Tchouaméni in midfield and 3 of the club's summer signings integrated at the back and in midfield, signalling that Alonso will marry his attacking stars with a willingness to shake up the pecking order. And then there are the substitutions that tell the tactical follow-up. Vinicius, who carried expectation and occasional frustration, was substituted in the 78th minute for Gonzalo Garcia, a change that read like Alonso's shorthand for "I will manage minutes and temper roles." That hook-off late in the game was more than a fitness decision. It was a tactical nudge. If you don't deliver the final pass, you don't complete the 90. The youngsters who came on, including Franco Mastantuono, didn't just warm a bench. They energised a crowd and proved that Alonso will not shy away from tossing youth into the heat of a Bernabeu night. If you watched closely, you saw a manager staking out long-term priorities in a single evening. Pressing intensity, positional discipline, and a preference for players who fit the scheme over legacy status. That's uncomfortable news for established stars who may have grown used to near-automatic starts. It's exhilarating for academy graduates and fringe players who've been waiting for a call. In short, the scoreline read, workmanlike win, but Alonso's selection choices read as the beginning of a deeper reshuffle that could shape transfer windows and dressing room politics over the coming months. Fans applauded. Naturally, 3 points on opening day beats a defeat, but applause was mixed with murmurs. Social feeds lit up. Why was Rodrygo benched? Is Vinicius losing his hold? Should Franco stay in the starting 11 next week? Those are the debates that sustain a season. And Alonso just handed opponents and analysts a weekly talking point. Meanwhile, the next fixture looms quickly. La Liga's grind doesn't wait. And Real Madrid will travel their calendar with this new template tested, adjusted, and possibly contested as they prepare for the trip to Real Oviedo. So what should viewers watch for next? First, whether Alonso's creative rotation becomes routine. Will Rodrygo crack his way back in as a substitute impact player or be forced into a transfer market scramble? Second, how Mbappé and Vinicius share the attacking burden when tactics demand both goals and defensive tracking. Third, whether the young players who impressed tonight get more than cameo minutes. When managers trust youth, it changes the club DNA. Finally, keep an eye on dressing room signals, captaincy, post-match comments and training photos will tell you whether this was a one-off shock or the early chapters of a genuine identity shift. Tonight's headline is simple. Mbappé scored. Real Madrid won. The subtext is far bigger. Xabi Alonso has already started to remake a squad, and that remake will produce winners, casualties, and controversies in equal measure. For every fan cheering the 3 points, there is another asking if the club just took its first bold step toward a very different Real Madrid, and whether the big names will adapt or be left behind. That is the story to follow this week. That is the debate that will fuel every conversation until the next whistle blows.